commission runs itself. Sir, you're correct. Without an executive committee, the 34 organizations, 20 of whom have made delegates, run the commission. The office doesn't shut down. Will County's already got a 2023 budget. Everything's going to keep running. What we don't have is an executive committee. Do we want to? We have 11 delegates. That is a quorum under the OMA.
It doesn't satisfy the bylaws.
Bylaws are superseded
Not sure
by.
any court in
That's
the
your
world is
opinion.
going to look at our
That's not
bylaws.
my opinion. I don't know what you want me to do, look past the bylaws and just say, oh, defer, because the OMA, by the way, does not define, what a quorum is.
No, but we have a quorum anyway. We have 3 elected officials on the
Right.
up there, and you have 5 members. That's a
Well, that-
quorum according to.
That's what I said 20 minutes ago.
Okay,
Yes.
we're agreeing.
But he says that he doesn't count that.
Does he rule?
Well, he says he's gonna litigate, he's in litigation with us.
I don't care, that he's not in litigation with us. We're the
He's in litigation
commission.
with us.
We're the commission, he's not,
They were-
his decisions doesn't affect us.
And by the way, the agenda has nothing, go ahead, Dan.
Can I say something? If you wanna be in litigation with us, that's your right, right? This is America. Do it. That's your right. You have shown up to this meeting how many times?
A handful of times.
A handful, right? And we all want the greater good. So you personally shutting this meeting down because you personally want to.
You want the
litigate
greater
it.
good,
Can
but
I
you're having a
finish
meeting at
this? I
9
did
a.m.
not
Can you not
interrupt you.
interrupt her? Let's be respectful of these
I
others.
did not interrupt you.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, if you personally want to do this, that's your right. I don't believe that right is gonna cover the greater good of this commission. And I want to speak to Ms. McCassin's comment. We brought this person onto the board, and her first role was to fix the bylaws. That was her first role. And so we've had this issue right from the very beginning, and it's not being fixed. So we need to come together, get behind the bylaws, fix them, just as Mr. O'Grady said. We're not gonna do it by constantly bickering and pushing meetings back.
Don't
Now-
have meetings at 9 in the morning. I mean, come on.
The reason, I don't know the reason behind that,
You just let
but I'm
her speak.
here, right? Because I want the greater good for the commission. So if we have a majority of people who want the greater good for the commission, for goodness sake, let's move forward and get the meeting started.
Sir.
I just got one question, and I'm trying to get clarified. You keep on saying that they got litigation against us. I was under the understanding they have litigation against individuals, not against the VAC itself.
It's my understanding that the judge that ruled that said you can't sue individuals, you have to add in the VAC. So that's, we're waiting for the amended complaint to come through.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Yep. John, did you have something?
I'm not a delegate, I don't have a dog in the fight, I just have a comment on, if you decide not to vote today, you could always recess to the Friday meeting. You don't have to repost it, according to the Open Meetings Act. If you follow the exact same agenda on Friday, before your scheduled Friday meeting, you could recess to Friday, as long as you announce the day, time, and location today with everybody here, and do this agenda, which will be the nominations, and then close this meeting, and then open up the Friday meeting and do your votes, if you think you can get enough people to satisfy both the quorums.
Well, I think we have it right now, so I don't know why we're deferring it. Nothing's gonna change. If we even got 10 more people in this room, it's not really gonna, 10 more delegates hypothetically, that's not gonna change, it's not gonna change the makeup up here of the executive committee. We have the chaplain, the president, and the sergeant at arms. Right, again, non-voting, voting, to check the box of the bylaws. Well, we can argue till the cows come home whether the Military Veterans Act supersedes the bylaws. I disagree, he has a different opinion. That's a surprise. I'm not here to resolve that. I looked at it all weekend, I've been working on this all weekend, trying to figure out, this is the best I've come up with to move it forward. If there's not agreement amongst us to let it move forward, then let's wait for the regular meeting in December. In the meantime, Whatever happens, happens.
Agree.
So that's what he's agreed.
Why can't we have a show of hands of delegates that wanna proceed with the meeting today
Agreed.
and see if we're gonna have one person that's gonna dictate to this commission how to operate?
Agreed.
I gotta tell you, if we're
We have
bringing
a
on
meeting.
any more litigation, I am going to leave and I'll break the quorum anyway.
We have a
I'm not gonna
vote.
bring any more litigation onto this.
It's already there.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's going to challenge the validity of what we're about to do today because he believes there's something wrong with the makeup of this executive committee, then there's no reason, why bring on more litigation? I agree with that. Let's just wait for the next regular
Can we
meeting in
ask him
December.
to explain why he believes that there's not a quorum?
Yeah, like,
All right, go ahead.
What's that?
You heard his question.
Why do you believe there's not a quorum?
Because the members on the board. That's as far as I'm gonna do.
According to the bylaws, you only need 3 members. You need 5 members present, 3 of which are elected officials.
All right. Then we got, me and you can go back and forth outside after we're done with this and we'll talk about it together. Okay?
what bylaws? Which bylaws?
Bylaws don't supersede the law, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm sure you-
But bylaws control the meetings and how we,
Yes.
how we conduct our business. Is there any disagreement about that? The bylaws control how we do our business. They're screwed up,
The laws
but those are our
BAC.
bylaws. As messed up as they are, they're trying to fix it. You heard that. Everybody recognizes the bylaws are messed up. But until they're amended and until we fix them, that's what we have to follow.
We can't do that till we get an executive committee.
No, you could do that on your own. You do not have to have an executive committee to continue with the VAC work.
I didn't say that. He talked about, but he's talking about amending the
I'm
bylaws.
talking about straightening out the bylaws.
you
We
could-
can't
you
do
could
that
do that as
until we
a-
get a committee. We can't get a committee until we get a quorum or whatever we need.
We're never gonna be able to check the box any better than it is today.
There are
We have the
there are
sergeant
other
at arms.
commissions- There are other commissions in the state of Illinois, in other counties, that operate without an executive committee. The superintendent
Yeah,
runs
but
what the commission, which is the group, you all are the commission. This is not the commission.
Correct.
You all are the
That
commission.
was my point in the beginning,
There
that
are
we
plenty
have,
of-
we have
plenty
a
of-
quorum.
To
clarify, we are part of the commission.
You are part of the commission.
Right.
Those of you who are delegates from
Thank
your
you.
posts
Thank you.
are part of the
And
commission.
let's wait a second. So I don't disagree with anything he's saying, but our next regular board meeting's in December for full commission, and that's when we can take up all these issues.
Right.
If, our bylaws also call for an election in October. That's why we're meeting today, at the weird time that nobody agrees with. I'm sorry, this is the only time I can be here. I have other things to do too, and I have to fly out this afternoon. But I came here this morning to try to resolve this. But that's fine. I'll be back in town on Friday, but we're not gonna check the October box on the bylaws either.
Are you here to represent them or to investigate them?
I'm here trying to help everybody.
Nobody's recognizing my hand, everybody just keeps talking. Hold on, stop, please. First of all, we have to stop talking over each other. That's just BS. To be talking over each other and not recognizing and not letting people speak. Clearly, I've had my hand up for several minutes here, and I've had people talking over me.
You made
and
your
new people
turn.
talking. I understand that, but I have a question, I have a comment for this group. We gotta get past all of this. We gotta get past all of this, or else we're not doing what we're here to do, and that is help veterans, all right? I don't care whether or not we make nominations today. I don't care whether we make elections on Friday. I'm probably not gonna be able to be here. It's 3:00 in the afternoon. I've got meetings for work. I probably can't make it. I don't know if my alternate can make it. He's got a job too. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen with all that, but I don't care about all that. What I need to do is I need to get to the next regular meeting to change the bylaws, to put the power in the delegates' hands. Right now, the power is in the executive committee's hands. We need a quorum of the executive committee for any business to happen according to the bylaws in which I read them. And whether or not you agree that the law can be superseded by the bylaws or not, if the law doesn't state what a quorum is, but the bylaws do, the bylaws take precedence there. So, but again, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I'm okay with electing someone that I don't necessarily think is gonna do a good job, because I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna change the bylaws and get the membership to approve that. That's my goal here. I've read the bylaws, I've listened to a lot of people talk about stuff, and it's just absolutely messed up. And so I just wanna, we need to stop bickering and arguing and decide what it is that we're gonna do to get the power out of the executive committee hands, get it into the membership, because the only way that we can run this correctly is by putting it on the membership. And however we get past that, whether we just scrap this whole nomination and election thing until the next December meeting, and then the membership actually can have votes and make motions towards resolving the bylaws, establishing another special meeting to do an election, things like that, that's fine. But we just gotta get past this right now. I can't sit here for 3-4 hours arguing this. I've gotta get to work, right? And it's not doing anybody any good. We're wasting everybody's time arguing back and forth. So, like, let's figure out, are we gonna do this nomination today? Are we not? Are we just gonna punt and go into the December meeting? I'm fine with either one of them. I'm just telling you right now, those bylaws gotta be changed, they gotta be fixed, they're contradictory, they're terrible. And that's what has to happen. And if you guys agree with me, great, I'll head up a bylaws committee if there isn't already a chair of that. But that's where we gotta get to, and we can't get to fixing the bylaws, which is the root of the problem, until we get past this mess right here, right? So I see a lot of people nodding, and I don't see anybody shaking their heads. So what are we gonna do?
Hey, Chris.
Clark? Yes.
Chris. All this crap about meetings we're scheduling for nobody here there. I've been on a committee for 8 or 10 years. We send out delegate forms every year. Some people fill in, they never come in. Nobody comes to the meeting. Meeting times were changed from 6 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 7 at night, every day of the week. Yet we do not get participation from the service officer.
That is,
we got people here that never been to a meeting for 4 or 5 years. All of a sudden, the same interest, all of a sudden, you're gonna save us. This board is volunteer.
It is.
And does, every month does work on it.
Absolutely.
For no compensation, no thanks, yet we get dragged through every pile of shit there is.
Jack?
Hard to work.
Jack,
Please don't interrupt him.
do you hear me?
I hear you, I don't,
No?
I emailed you, okay? Who in this delegate right here does not have a DD 214? The rumors you heard, ask John Davin, who is he doing? Okay, I'm getting tired of the crap, I wanna reply to some of this. My heart's beating like a son of a bitch now, and I don't need you.
Can I reply?
No.
Go ahead.
Jack, my questions were questions. I sent that out to the entire delegation. I asked Jen to send that out. You're absolutely right, Jack. I'm a new member here. And at some point in time, my VFW post let our delegate slide, and we didn't have anybody appointed. That was a mistake of my commander, and this is the mistake of several commanders of posts that are in Will County. I absolutely agree with you, Jack. We're not in disagreement there. And please don't take my comments as,
They're an attack on me.
No, Jack.
They are.
No, they're not.
Hold on. Let's take a time out for a second. Can you just have a seat for a
Yeah,
second?
absolutely.
Let's take a time out for a second.
Yep.
I understand. I just want to double check with you. All right. Yes. Hold on 1 second, please. All right. We need another, he just needs to pull us off the other. Sure. Okay, Jack? Let's give me the last comment, then we're gonna take some action.
The reason I brought up couple of meetings ago about having a 214. I belong to 5 different organizations. And each organization, as you go through and they go through the chair, a lot of them are not eligible. I didn't want this to happen here is the reason I brought it up. It wasn't attacking anybody, it's making sure that we don't get caught short-handed. A lot of organizations have, and it happened right here in the VFW 18th District. And it happened in different states. Like I stated at one meeting, I served on the appeals committee for the national headquarters of the VFW. Too many times we've had cases like that. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're gonna get ready to open the meeting. I think I've heard from everybody. We're just gonna put to the vote of the delegates what we're gonna do this morning. I think that's the best, fairest way for everybody present. So we're gonna go ahead and start the meeting, open it up, and then we'll, give Jack a second, please.
I'd like to call the order of the commission meeting, October 31st, 9:35. Call the meeting to order, please have the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chaplain, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together today. Please guide us in our deliberations in order that we may make prudent and wise decisions for those who we serve. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Can I have a roll call, please?
President Jack Piccolo,
Present.
Sergeant at Arms Amanda Pope, here. Chaplain Jim Singler,
Present.
Member Steve Beneke,
Here.
Judge Advocate Lisa McGlasson. AL 2000. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Janet. AL 2000. Mokina. AL 1977 in Lennox. AL 1291 Crete. AL 1200 Moni. That's me, that's Janet. AL 1080 Joliet. AL 935 Manhattan.
Here, Robert Agoni.
AL 521 Cedar. AL 392 Pietron. AL 241 Joliet. AL 191 Wilmington. AL 52 Romeoville.
That's me.
Yeah, you can sit down, start to vote with the hand up.
AL 5 Joliet.
Excused.
AL 39 Braidwood. AL 18 Lockport.
President Mike Myers.
AL 13 Plainfield.
President James Castaneda.
VFW 9545 New Lenox.
President Clark Christensen.
VFW 8283 Cedar. VFW 5917 Bolingbrook.
President John David.
VFW 5819 Lamont. VFW 5788 Lockport.
President Keith Carver.
VFW 5422 Wilmington.
President John Hill.
VFW 2199 Joliet, VFW 1493 Frankfurt,
Executive Committee.
VFW 725 Mokina, VFW 367 Joliet.
President Jim Clausen.
You got it up and determine that we have a quorum or not.
We have a quorum, yeah.
We have a quorum, all right. Next is,
Did we call Larry?
No, we didn't call it. Bolingbrook, American Legion 1288, Bolingbrook, Larry Shaver. Delegate.
Are there any other delegates who weren't
do
called?
you have a delegate form?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah, oh, no,
No,
they
they're
have
fine.
Fail 1288. Are you the one that merged?
No.
Who merged?
I was the,
Yeah,
excuse
with
me,
who?
I was the
Hold on,
alternate.
that's not, that's, hold on, that's not.
I was the alternate for for 5917 VFW post, but I was appointed to 1288 and resigned.
Okay, no, I was just trying to figure out the posts, so we have them all on the list. That's all, I just want to know.
There is a letter on file withdrawn as an alternate.
Okay.
Sorry it was received after the agenda was made.
Right now, try to stick to the agenda. Now we have public comments. Does anybody have any public comments? Go to the phone, sir.
Hi, my name, as you might know, my name's Robert Angoni, of the Manhattan Post 935. I would like to start out by saying that I'm sorry for last meeting, my actions of turning down the nomination for secretary. I was looking out after myself and not for the veterans again. If anybody does want to nominate me, I will accept it, and I will work hard for that position or any other. A lot of the stuff I'm not gonna go into because this is not what this nomination meeting is. I do have a letter saying how we're gonna straighten up the bylaws and, start fixing the VAC budget and all that, but let's not get into that stuff. Let's just keep this meeting going. That's it.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
James Castaneda, Plainfield American Legion. I'll use this time since we're going to talk about DD 214s. I know Jack brought it up and got all hyped up on it. Sorry that happened, Jack. There has been questions before about DD 214s, about members up here on the board. I do want to point that Janet Blue, right, is it? Do you have a DD 14? You don't have to answer that.
I do know.
You did not, yeah. You're up there.
I'm a delegate appointed by my first command.
Okay, well, I'm just saying,
Let's stop the question and answer. Let them have
yeah,
this.
you don't have to answer.
Don't interrupt them.
But, I do also want to have a meeting, I understand the bylaws are jacked up, we knew that way back then when stuff started getting crazy, but, I do want to get through this as much as everybody else does. I'm not here to fight or argue with my fellow, devil dogs, whatever. I just want to get through this, but I want to do it the right way. If people are messed up, they know they're messed up. I was kind of confused when I saw the, attorney up front representing them like that, when I thought it was supposed to be investigating them. But it is what it is. That's all I got for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
John Kraft, I would just urge that you diligently work on creating bylaws to present to the commission in the December meeting that comply fully with state law. And don't add a lot of things that doesn't need to be in there. Like 3 members of the executive committee in order to have a meeting. It's ridiculous, but it's in the bylaws. The other thing is, people talk about DD 214, it is not required. You do not have to be a veteran to serve on the commission. If you read the Grundy County Veterans Assistance Commission versus Grundy County, the appellate court, even though it's a Rule 23 decision, which is not, technically precedent setting, you do not have to be a veteran, you do not have to have a 214, you don't even have to be a member of the VSO that makes you a delegate. The judge, I believe, said that there's people that are completely competent to handle the affairs of the commission, that may even be more competent than veterans. Personally, I would like to see every commission member be a honorably discharged veteran and a member of the organization that they were made a delegate of. To me, that makes sense, but that's not what the legislature did, and the appellate court has already said you don't have that 214. The only requirement for the honorably discharged veteran is the superintendent. Period. Like I said, I don't agree with it. Hopefully the legislature will change it next year or the year after. We can only hope, cross our fingers. But I am ready to help anybody that wants to adjust the bylaws. Anybody sitting up here, Jack, Amanda, the attorney, all the commission members. Matter of fact, I've probably sent 2 or 3 emails with suggestions on changes. The bottom line in bylaws or in any executive committee has no power. They're fact finding, they find things out, they advise the commission. That's their role. And their role is not to make decisions, which is why whoever said it was correct, that the commission can operate without an executive committee, because that's all it is, a committee of commissioners. But you need to correct the bylaws, and when you do correct them, I suggest you make them say that effective December, when they get approved hopefully, that the next executive committee will be nominated and elected at the first meeting after February 28th of every year, and the term of office is for 1 year. That will comply as closely as possible to the term of office of delegates and alternates at the time when the statute says your forms have to be turned into the commission. I think anybody, if you want my information, I'll try to give it to you, and I believe I've already forwarded it to almost everybody. Thanks.
Thank you. I don't comment while it's going on, but I wish you would, the DD 214, if you would please inform the state of Illinois VFW. Thank you.
Larry Shaver, delegate, American Legion Post 1288 Bolingbrook. The only thing I want to comment on is I agree with Clark, and I'm willing to help Clark. Clark and I work together in state positions. We work together in district positions, and we work together in post positions. So I'd be more than willing to help form a committee, settle a committee, and get these bylaws straightened up. And I agree with everything my previous speaker stated. And that's all I have to say today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I just want to make sure that anyone who has taken offense to anything I'm saying, this is not a personal attack, ever. This is purely, I'm a stickler for the rules and the bylaws, and when I see things being done not in accordance with them, it's something that I need to step up and attempt to try to fix, especially when it comes to veterans. And I understand I haven't been a member previously, but you know, life circumstances don't always allow for that. I'm trying to fix that right now. And the only other thing that I wanted to say was I wanted to read from the bylaws right here. This is Article 5, Section 6. Though it doesn't state DD 214, and this is a quote from the bylaws, a delegate and alternate will be selected as determined by each member organization and will be reported in writing to the Secretary of the Commission Board. The appointment of the delegate and alternate shall be signed by the chief officer of the organization on a form provided by the Secretary each delegate and alternate must be an honorably discharged veteran. That's from the bylaws. Now, my point here is to say that there are organizations who shouldn't have a voice here. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this is just an example of where the bylaws need to be fixed. We have organizations such as the Gold Star Mothers, and though it's possible that a Gold Star Mother could be a veteran, currently the way the bylaws state this, a Gold Star Mother cannot be a delegate to this commission because they are not an honorably discharged veteran. Would be exactly the same for my auxiliary at my post. The auxiliary at my post is a very similar organization to Gold Star Mothers. Many of the folks that are in my auxiliary have husbands and sons and daughters that are deceased, and as a result of the war and not. So, and they aren't necessarily veterans, and so they aren't able to be a member of this delegation. Now, later on, I will admit that in the bylaws, it does state that when it comes to, and I don't have this one pulled up right now, but it says the executive committee has to submit either their 214 or proof of, proof of their,
Honorable service.
no, it's not, it has something to do with the relationship to the person who is a member. But, you have that?
The next paragraph.
It's in the bylaw. So later on, it does talk about newly elected officers must submit a copy of their DD 214 or honorable discharge certificate or such other proof of service, and this is where it gets sticky, or relationship to the eligible veteran. So we clearly have a conflict in our bylaws, and this is where the conjecture about making sure that people that are here are eligible to be here. But my proposal will be to fix those bylaws to remove that ambiguity and to include, certain organizations that should certainly have a voice here. But that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Any more comments, please?
I have a comment there. I'm Steve Anke. I'm a Cold War submarine veteran, served in the mid-60s. So yeah, I was punching holes in the Atlantic before a lot of you guys were even born, perhaps. I'm also a lame duck 2-year member at large for the current executive board. These are my comments. And for the past 2 years, the current members of this board, with rare exceptions due to COVID or unavoidable excused absences, have attended every meeting in person, whether COVID masked, virtually, 7:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock at night, fulfilling the responsibilities of the board on behalf of the veterans that we serve. I think we've kind of lost track of that. We're here for our veterans, not to put up with all this bullshit. Now, meeting agendas and notices for those meetings were emailed to the commission members with limited or non-existent participation, attendance by other commission members. We'll talk about that. But that's in my notes, so I have to say. However, over the last, let's say, 4 or 5 months, whether motivated by the goading of political aspirations, vendetta, or outside political ideologies, unfounded, unproven accusations of fiscal wrongdoing and attacks upon the integrity and validity of the current executive board has at least brought about more participation. So that's something. A previous board member, a Gold Star Mother, which we talked about, had been mercilessly and consistently attacked and vilified. Public comment has been shared by combat veterans who have lost their brothers in combat. Yet shameless attacks have been leveled upon a Gold Star Mother of one of these brothers lost in combat. So much for on, huh? Now, I respect and admire all combat veterans and those of us who find ourselves in harm's way during our tour of service. What I can't respect nor admire is a combat veteran, an American Legion post commander, standing here at this podium, rambling on for the better part of 5 minutes, ridiculing and insulting another veteran's leadership qualities because they chew gum. That's leadership, huh? I'm just gonna get just into the delegates and I'm gonna leave it at that, but, you know, we talk about who takes precedence over rules, regulations, etc. Now, Military Veterans Assistance Act gives 60 days for the members of the commission to respond to who are delegates by the form. 60 days from when the notifications went out. I'm here to tell you right now, and I'm not going to name them, it doesn't matter, but there are at least 3 VFW posts and 4 American Legion posts that have delegate forms dated August, September, October. So I guess my question is, you know, where the hell were you guys when we needed you? Crash Buddy over here talks about justice for all. Well, how about it? Well, I think that's all I have to say. But when we get into the nominations and elections, I personally would like to hear from those nominated what they feel their qualifications are, what they hope to accomplish, why they really want to be an officer on this board, if in fact we even have a board. So, thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
We could ask everybody just to make sure their phones are silenced as we move forward with the meeting. Thank you. I don't have an agenda, so thank you.
And this for comment?
So before we move on, to nominations, I'm gonna articulate, if that's okay with everybody, a motion. And then if somebody agrees with it, they can second it, and then we'll vote on it, and if not. So the motion is, should the Will County VAC Commission defer the nomination and election to its full commission meeting in December?
I will make a motion to defer this business until our meeting in December.
Second?
I could have a second from somebody else.
I'll second.
Please state your name for the record, please.
Jennifer.
Thank
Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay, let's take a roll call on that motion.
Roll call vote, please. Everybody understands what the motion was?
No clue. Okay, so we have time for discussion. We have a first and a second. What's before us is to defer the nominations and the election to the full commission regular meeting, a regular scheduled full commission meeting in December.
So we're voting on not voting today.
We're voting on deferring everything until the full commissions could be here. Our next regularly scheduled full commission meeting is scheduled. Does that make sense? Any other questions on the motion before?
I have a question.
Yes, Dan.
That question is not on the agenda.
That's right. Well, what is on the agenda is the nominating process, and that's enough notice. So yes, we're fine. Thank you.
I disagree.
Well, okay.
I understand.
You can,
Well, you can bring it up.
it's a motion on the nomination process and whether we should defer it to the full regular board meeting, and it is proper. It's a proper motion.
It is, now we go to the meeting.
I didn't ask you.
Okay, please.
Yeah, it's a proper
Roll,
motion.
we got the
It's
roll
not- it's
call
notified.
vote, please.
It's related to an agenda item.
Is anybody else confused before we vote?
Any other questions before we vote? Okay, so we have a first and a second on a motion to defer today's action, the nominations, and the election that's scheduled for Friday to the full next regular commission meeting in December. And we have a first and a second on it. Ready? We're all in agreement? Let's take the roll.
Amanda? No. Jim Singler? Janet Blue? No. Steve Beneke?
No.
Lisa McLaughlin? Oh, you don't vote. Sorry. AL 2000? AL 1977? AL 1291? AL 1200?
It's Janet.
Tony? Yes or no? I would go. She would, oh, she would.
AL 1080? AL 935?
Yes.
AL 521? AL 392? AL 241? AL 191? AL 52?
Already voted.
Joliet? No, Romeoville. AL Joliet 5? AL 39 Braidwood? AL 18 Lockport?
No.
AL 13 Plainfield?
Yes.
VFW 9545 New Lenox?
Yes.
VFW 8283 Steger? VFW 5917 Bolingbrook?
Yes.
VFW 5819 Lamont? VFW 5788 Lockport?
Yes.
VFW 5422 Wilmington?
Yes.
VFW 2199 Joliet? VFW 1493 Frankfurt?
It's Amanda.
VFW 725 Mokina? VFW 367 Joliet?
Yes.
American Legion 1288?
Yes.
8 yeses and 5 noes.
So the motion carries to defer the nominations and election to the next full commission meeting in December. That means,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
hold on, before we adjourn. Can I have a motion to, cancel the November 4th meeting for the election on November 4th? I guess a motion to cancel the scheduled meeting on November 4th, the special motion to cancel the November 4th, 22 meeting at 3 o'clock, that's been scheduled.
I will make the motion to cancel the November 4th meeting that was at 3 o'clock.
Second.
Roll call.
We'll call vote.
Well, let's just do a hand up. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, one opposed. So that means canceled. Now there's one more time.
That's it.
I don't think there's anything else to do, so a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
See you in December.